Alright, what is up guys? So in this video I'm going to talk about eunuchs throughout Chinese history. 2200 plus years and tens and millions of castration of young boys, both the penis and the testicles. So let's get started. Let's go back to 221 BC. Let's talk about Qin Shi Huang. He is commonly recognized as the first ruler to truly unify China back in 221 BC. And he used eunuchs to construct the terracotta army. And because he wanted these people to accompany him in the afterlife. He also ordered the burning of the books, which ended a golden era of Chinese literacy. Many Chinese scholars who protested were burned and buried alive along with their books. By the way, Qin Shi Huang, he was only 4 foot 11 or 150 centimeters. So maybe you still have a chance to go out and conquer a nation. During this era, castration was given as a punishment to rapists. And this included every single male in the family of the rapist. So very dangerous stuff. There's also the famous historian Sima Qian. I made a short video on this guy. He wrote the Grand Historian, which was a true all-time masterpiece. And he was castrated for speaking the truth to the emperor, and the emperor didn't really like it, so he cut his balls off. Let's fast forward to 189 AD. The Eunuch Rebellion, the Massacre of the Eunuch Attendants. I mentioned this briefly in my entire history of China's video, and this took place during the Romans of the Three Kingdoms. We have the warlord He Jin. He attempted to seize power by killing the eunuchs who held a very high power at the time. So the eunuchs, when they heard about the news, they said, why don't we kill him instead? So He Jin was killed. Then came warlord Dong Zhuo. He temporarily seized power after killing all these powerful eunuchs. Then he was killed. Chinese history is pretty insane, I know. Also, I will upload part 2 of the entire history of China. I'm also working on my most important video series I've made in my entire life, where I will discuss feminism. We'll talk about LGBTQ+, woke culture, China, Taiwan, Russia, Ukraine, pandemic, vaccine, inflation, and finally peace. And I really wanted to get this done first because it will be the most important video series of my life. So let's keep going with the eunuchs. Let's fast forward to the Northern Qin Dynasty. This dynasty was short-lived, but here's something very interesting. Empress Dowager Hu. By the way, Empress Dowager means the mother of the emperor. This Empress Dowager reportedly had sexual relations with her personal eunuchs. Now, I'm not sure how that would work. Maybe the alphabet community can tell me something about it. Or maybe it's strictly oral, who knows, maybe some S&M and some handcuffs and spanking. Let's fast forward to Tang Dynasty, one of the 5 great dynasties in China. We have the Anlushan Rebellion. I have covered this in a short video before. Up to 36 million civilians perished. Yes, 36 million. And the leader Anlushan, he castrated a young boy named Li Zhu'er when he was a teen with his blade. And then he covered the wound with ashes, and this saved Li's life. So Li would go on to serve and help them in steam baths, since the Anlushan was basically morbidly obese. And later in his life, when Anlushan turned paranoid, he went full Joseph Stalin and was murdering all of his subordinates. Li decided to take action. He cut Anlushan into pieces, including pulling out his intestines. Yes, that is peak Chinese history for you. Let's talk about the Yuan Dynasty. This is when the Mongols ruled China, but not under Genghis Khan. The first Mongol ruler in China was his son Kublai Khan. Any enemy captured under the age of 10 was castrated. No exceptions. The eunuchs, they will go on to serve as slaves to their capturer for the rest of their lives. So, ladies, you tell me, who is oppressed more, man or woman? Do you still think we live in a patriarchy? Just something to think about. Let's move on to the Ming Dynasty, second last dynasty of China. This is the peak eunuch era of China. It is estimated that at least 1 million eunuchs served in the Forbidden Kingdom at this point. It's estimated that over 80% of the eunuchs came from northern China. Also, countries like Mongolia, Korea, Vietnam, Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, etc. During this time period, they all had to send eunuchs to the Ming Dynasty as tributes. These tributes finally ended in the year of 1435, By the late Ming Dynasty, there were over 100,000 eunuchs serving in the Forbidden Palace. Yes, 100,000. The eunuchs were known to be greedy, evil, and cunning. They often spied on concubines and also high-ranking officials for blackmail, and also turning them against each other while taking bribes from all sides. I mean, that is to be expected. When you cut off someone's balls and their penis, they're probably going to be unhappy about it. And finally, we have arrived at the Qin Dynasty from 1644 to 1911, the very final dynasty of China. This is the beginning of the end. Yellow bamboo sticks were introduced. They were used to punish eunuchs. Typical punishment would be 50 hits to the back. This was very extreme. The hits were severely enough to completely break someone's back permanently. Also very interesting, during this time period, dildos became very popular in China. I'm not sure if this was invented by the eunuchs, but many of them used these dildos to police the concubines in the imperial harem, also going down on them with extensive foreplay involved. Now obviously this is against the law, and anybody that gets caught would be killed. But you have to remember, this is the time period when the emperor had thousands of concubines, and there's no way for the emperor to have sex with them all, so most will never get any action in their lifetime. So these sneaky eunuchs, they swooped in and took advantage. Let's talk about some of the most famous eunuchs in China. So Cai Lun, he was once credited with inventing paper. While he might not have been the true inventor, but he definitely made the usage of paper extremely popular over 2,000 years ago. We also have the mathematician Jia Xian. He was the one who invented square and cube roots. Very interesting for all the math nerds out there. Then there is Gang Bing. He castrated himself in order to show loyalty to his emperor. That is some pretty hardcore stuff. I cannot ever imagine anything like that. And then there's the most powerful eunuch, Liu Jing. He became the de facto emperor during the Ming Dynasty. Next we have An Dehai. He was definitely the most famous eunuch in China. He's the personal favorite. You can see a picture of him on the right of Empress Dowager Cixi. Cixi was known as China's most powerful Empress Dowager. And finally we have Sun Yaoting. He's China's very last eunuch. He was castrated at the age of 8 by his father. He passed away in peace in the year of 1996. Let's fast forward to the present day. I think the West has taken an interest in this dark chapter of Chinese history. Isn't this what they call gender-affirming care today in 2023? Just something for you guys to think about. Thank you guys so much for watching the video all the way to the end. I will see you next time.